everyone. Today I'd like to talk about travelling with your greyhound. Now, as part of their racing career, greyhounds are used to travelling, but they will have travelled inside an enclosed van, inside cages that are fitted to keep them safe. So they have limited experience of travelling in a car. And in a car, they may be on a more bouncy surface, they can move around more, and they can see out, and these can mean that they need a little bit of time to get used to these changes. It is a legal requirement if you're travelling with a dog in the UK that they are secure inside the vehicle. Now, if you're travelling the dog in the boot, it means you need to prevent access to the front seat. So you could have a partition behind the back seat so they just have the boot space, or you could put the back seats down so they have a partition between the whole of the boot space and the front seats, but they do need to be stopped from getting into the driver's space at the front of the car. If they're traveling on the back seat of the car, they're going to need to wear a harness which is attached to the seatbelt buckle. So the harness would have one of these clipped onto it, clip there, and different sorts of attachments at this end to go into your seatbelt buckle. You can also get these with a carabiner on the end that could clip round the seatbelt fastened. And if they're wearing a harness, then you could clip it onto the top or to the front, whichever is easiest. And this means that if the dog is going to be involved in, say, an emergency stop or a sudden change of direction, they're not going to end up being propelled forwards into the driver's space at the front. You should never fit the clip that attaches the dog to the seat to their collar, because should there be an accident, should you have to do an emergency stop, then all of that dog's weight, in AJ's case that's 39 kilos, is going to be applied round his neck, and even with a fishtail collar that could do serious damage to the dog. He may still end up in the front seat and there could be a nasty accident as a result. So it's important that they're secure rather than able to interfere with the driver. So greyhounds may find travelling in cars quite confusing at first. They may not really understand how to jump in and out of the seat. Especially I find the back seat can cause problems. They seem to find that space between the seat and the car a bit confusing. And if the boot of the car is high or it has a lip, they can find that a bit difficult as well. So they may need a bit of time to get used to how to get into the car, as well as time to get used to travelling in a different way. Hopefully your dog will learn to get in and out of the car on their own, but sometimes they might not feel like it, or they might be a little bit unsure, or perhaps they've hurt themselves and you need to take more care about the jumping in and out. To put them into the car, it's often better to do this in 2 stages. It'll be easy for the dog and also safer for your back if you pick up their front legs and pop those in, followed by picking up their back legs and putting those in separately. If you need to lift the dog out of the car, it's probably best to do that in one go, rather than moving the front end then the back end. So this time we need to make sure we have a firm hold of the lead and support both the chest of the dog and the hindquarters of the dog, lifting them down, keeping them close and bending your knees to support your back as you put them on the floor. When it comes to taking them out of the car, it's important to have a secure grip on the lead before the door is open far enough for the dog to get out. Now, if the dog is really averse to getting into the car, they may be quite scared of that, and they may show signs of fear or stress, such as backing away when you try to put them in. They might shake, they might start drooling or panting, and while they're travelling in the car, you may see these signs, and they may also be physically sick. Now, we don't know necessarily whether that is because they're having motion sickness, same as humans can have. Perhaps there's discomfort. Perhaps if they're on a soft surface like the back seat and they have arthritis, the movement of the vehicle and the soft surface could cause discomfort in, say, an arthritic hip. Or they may actually be scared of the car itself, of the noise, of the movement, of being able to see out. So there are a number of reasons as to why the dog might not travel well, and different things to do to address that depending on the cause. If the dog is actually suffering from motion sickness, then you can help them feel more relaxed with giving them anti-sickness medication from the vet, or sometimes just a ginger biscuit will help settle their tummy before they travel. I would never travel the dog within an hour of a big meal, especially if they're a poor traveler. And if the dog is nervous of the car, you can use an adaptil spray in the car, or a spray such as Pet Remedy based on herbal support to help them feel more relaxed. And it would be as well to seek advice such as finding out the cause so you can work on the particular problem with support in order to try and help the dog feel better about being in the car. So hopefully you won't have problems with your dog traveling in the car, but if this is something your dog is finding difficult, do reach out and ask for help. Contact me on my website or send me a message here on YouTube. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.